bridge your knowledge to success.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Aditya Talks. And today we have Mr. Hemant Chhabra with us. It's an honor to have you here, sir. How are you doing?
I'm so blessed. Thank you.
Yes, the honor is mine. Mr. Hemant is the founder of Hideout Farms, and he's doing great work there, which we will discuss in the subsequent, minutes and this episode as a whole. And he has a lot of experience in a variety of fields regarding sustainability. So, first of all, let's just start off with your story. You planted your first tree in 1987. What was happening in your life at that time? And what made you choose nature as your path in life?
Okay. So, because of my business, I had to travel right from Ratnagiri to Trivandrum for about 10 years. And so I'm also a late hippie of the late 79, 80s. And I spent a lot of good years in Goa and Europe. So because of my travel in these beautiful villages, seeing the hospitality, humility, love of villagers, when I would come back home to Kulava, I would find Bombay very claustrophobic, noisy, and difficult to breathe in. I found pollution very high. Because I'm born in the 60s, 61, I found drastic change in the 80s. And that's why I wanted to breathe fresh air. I bought the land in Vikramgarh, Zatpoli village in 1987. Just one reason, breathe fresh air. I can't hear you.
Yes, that's really interesting. To breathe fresh air, you went off the grid and you bought land and you basically left your life to start a whole nother thing. So you lived off the grid in the early years. What were the toughest moments after switching over to this, and what kept you going in your journey?
So I never left Bombay in 87. I left Bombay in 2012 with my family. Just to clarify, I traveled for 25 years from Bombay to the farm right up to 2012 to make this a fruit and food forest. So when I bought the land, my neighbor said there's hardly any electricity. The voltage is so low, even tube lights won't light. So I decided not to go for electricity. I lived with zero electricity for 2 complete years on the land. And then my mom said, if you want me to come, I need electricity. So 2 years later, in 89, 70, 87, yeah, 89, I got electricity. And we started having very low electricity, which was as good as not there. And most of the time, there was no electricity. So we had what we call lalten or kandils for 27 years. In 2013 is when I got a solar system. But I never believed कि भगवान जाने कब electricity आएगी reliable. So, but thanks to the BJP, whatever people want to say, electricity
Yeah.
came in rural India, at least in my village, and good supply.
Yes. So that's really interesting. Can you tell us about your journey from the start, like for the benefit of our viewers, like from your childhood to right now? You've achieved a lot of things, a plethora of things, and your journey is very inspiring. Can you just give us your life story?
Okay, so I'm a South Bombay Sobok, what they call, kid who grew up pampered by my mother, never got up for a glass of water, never grew a plant in a pot. My father was upper middle class guy. We had a Morris van which would take 16 kids and adults in the car. Was really pampered, and unfortunately, due to family dispute, like any Hindi movie you see, and a lot of Indian families, both the family, my dad and his brother, both got devastated. We spent 26 years in court. The court hearing came after 13 years. I tell people, don't go to courts, man. So I spent right from the age of 15, 16 with lawyers in courts. And we were in the ball bearing business. That gave me the opportunity to travel. And like the triangle, when things are sorted out, you tend to want to grow a next level. And I had some hippie friends who invited me to West Berlin in 1986, 87. I went there before the wall broke. So we had a friend, we traveled to many countries, lived with friends in Germany, Switzerland, France. And ever since, it's been an international community. The most beautiful thing was that people from Europe came to India searching for spirituality. I had spiritual experiences on the streets of Europe. I had spiritual experiences with people, and it was pure magic, not knowing their languages. I'm very poor in learning languages. So, but before that, I was blessed with my journey in yoga. I joined Kevaladam somewhere in late 70s. Kevaladam is a school of yoga at Chopati in South Bombay. Then I went through the Bihar School of Yoga, Swami Satyanand Saraswati, who came up with this brilliant cassette called Yoga Nidra in those days. I used to do like 30 minutes of Yoga Nidra and go for parties and dance. And everybody used to wonder. They would ask my friends, what's this guy tripping on? Is he going inside the room and taking something? Because I would dance all night just on Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra was a beautiful journey for me and the Bihar School of Yoga. And my teacher, the yoga teacher, took me to, he conned me actually. He said, we go to a place for a 10-day holiday, no electricity, we live on a hill, and it's going to be beautiful there, and it's going to be beautiful, well, just a mud house. When I reached the place in Igatpuri, it was the Vipassana center. I was blessed to do 10 days of Vipassana twice in 1980 and 82 with S.N. Goenka. Guruji was humble, the teachings were great, the practice was good, done many courses. Then I was blessed to meet Dr. Vijaya Venkat, the founder of the Health Awareness Center. She introduced me in those days to something called plant-based diet, which is now called vegan. Um, Not only plant-based, she introduced me to home birthing, she introduced me to breastfeeding, she introduced me to homeschooling. And to my good fortune and my blessings, my wife just, it was like two rivers merging and becoming one. I always say marriage is like two trees growing individually, but at the same time, it's also like two rivers blending into one. And not only this yoga was a way of my life. When I started at after COVID, I remember we did 85 workshops, which is still going on, with a teacher called Girish Bhatt from the Anger School of Yoga, and and he still comes here. I do online courses of yoga with him. This yoga, what people and he says very well, सब डमरू जैसे टीचर नाच रहा है सबको डमरू जैसे आसन और प्राणायाम करा रहा है. So I think yoga, what I understood, it's it's a journey, yeah. And
Yeah,
he says ultimately the tortoise and the rare, who's going to win? The tortoise. So why are you sweating? In last 5 years,
yeah,
I've hardly done, I think, two sessions of Shavasana. And I remember for like 40 years, every time I did 1.5 hour yoga class, we had to have a Shavasana session after the ending of the class.
yes,
So also my blessings with teachers, Dr. Arun Sharma, the third generation master. His grandfather, Acharya Lakshman Sharma, wrote a book, actually a journal called the Natural Health Science, which anybody in naturopathy, healthcare, doctors have to read this journal. From that journal, so many naturopathy centers started in India. So uh, I forgot to say, Dr. Vijay Inkat also introduced us to something called you don't need vaccinations, medical minimum medical care. So these were some of the things I learned on my journey.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really interesting. So basically, yoga was a very big influence on your life, and you blended yoga with having fun, and just you danced and did yoga at the same time, which is really interesting. And yeah, I guess yoga is one of the reason why you look so good these days, and how you kept up with your health, which is awesome. So you built Hideout Farm, and first of all, this is such a great project, and you've done it from the scratch since a long time. What were the philosophies that influenced your this initiative and this startup initially, and who did you get inspired by?
Yeah, actually, when I was in South Bombay, I come from a Punjabi family where non-veg and alcohol is a default thing here, at least in my house. Now, I was so cruel. I was actually influenced by my neighbors because we came from an affluent family. I bought an air gun. I would go fishing, shoot birds, and things like that. Yeah, I mean, really, it was a cruel part of my life, and absolutely, nikammapan jo kehte hain na. So all that happened, and because of Vipassana, when I bought the land, I just felt I went to Ratnagiri. Ratnagiri is the coast in Maharashtra where this Alfonso mango grow. Now there we actually sat in a got the Alfonso mango plants, planted with my hands. It was not an easy journey. Just then, I was very blessed to meet this master called Masubu Fukuoka, who wrote this very popular book called One Straw Revolution. And when I met him at two different times in the initial years of farming, it was something what Vijay Venkat said: don't disturb the body. The body knows to heal. He said, don't disturb the earth. The earth knows to heal. He said, even if you just compound a land by default, when he said one straw revolution, what he meant was even if you throw seeds of grass, they will grow. And he was the one, I don't know, people have been watching this WhatsApp on seed balls. He was the main guy who started this seed ball concept. We put different seeds into mud, cow dung, and ash and different composition, and you throw them in arid lands. And with the rain, they just grow. They're doing it across the world in all arid lands. He was one of the greatest inspirers for me. And 26 years, 36 years, we did no tilling. No tilling, yeah, no tilling.
So,
And first 11 years, I did IMC farming because I said, I don't know, I bought these trees. My inside said, no, 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 you can't touch anything. You can't hurt any insect. You can't hurt anything. And my partner was there for a year and he said, this is virgin land. And I was absolutely an idiot. I had no sense of land. Actually, when I looked at it later, when he moved on and I moved on and I bought the land from him, I'm in deep gratitude to my friend Nikki Malvi, who helped me to buy this land and we were together. Um, so uh, we've been building soil for 30
yeah,
years now. Building soil, just जो भी आता है, you give back. I give you an example, for a simple example. If you have a banana tree, you get
yeah,
30 kilos of banana. You cut the stem. When you cut the stem, it will be around 60 to 90 kilos. Okay.
yeah.
You cut it and give it to the sucker plant. Sucker plant is the baby that comes out. It comes out by default. You do not have to do anything. Now, in short, what I tell people, whatever you take, suppose you've taken 30 kilos from your mother, you give her back 60 to 90 kilos. It's going to go on and on and on. What happens in tissue culture when people are doing bananas today? They're just planting for 2 years, two crops. My bananas are sitting there for 26 years in the same place. I got my banana plants from Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari, from
Yeah.
Karnataka, 26 years back. And we're still sitting, and those like Puvampalli, Rastali, Rasbali, we have it in our nursery. And they're so tasty. Every year after the monsoon, the flavor changes. So
That's that,
imagine that is natural farming, you know.
yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting. So you built up, you were inspired by Masanobu Fukuoka, sir, and basically that shaped your initial, ideology on farming as a whole, and you basically built your processes along the way, and that's really interesting. So Hideout began with a single dream and a single tree. And like, how did it grow into the 7 acre eco sanctuary that it is today? And you now, along with farming and doing all this, you also manage some rooms, and you've expanded it into a whole thing. How did that happen?
Thanks to my mother, thanks to my wife, thanks to my children, thanks to the community, thanks to so many teachers, this all happened. So because our kids were homeschooling, so I have three kids. Anisha, who is a teacher at the American school, primary, she's a senior teacher. My son Aditya, he was born on the farm with the local Dai. Dai is a midwife. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and my daughter also was born at home, and she's 16. Aditya is 32. My eldest daughter is 34. We all are home. My eldest daughter was born in Bombay Hospital as a doctor, but a natural birth because my family didn't support me for home birthing. They actually scared me. So um, I had to have these processes in place. Sorry, I was answering this question, and this is directly in relationship to how this whole thing happened because the homestay happened after the age of 4. My kids didn't want to come to the farm; they would get bored. They said, "What are you going to do there? You get bored." So Dr. Vijay Venkat said, "Why don't you do kids camp?" So my wife made a simple crayon poster. I walked into Times of India, and there on Saturday the article came up. We've been written by all the leading newspapers, TV channels, programs, and all that. 26 years we did kids camps. Now the kids were all we did 3 days, 3 nights kids camp, age 4 to 7. Yeah.
yeah,
Those days, it was not popular. There were no landlines in the village. There was no proper electricity. We did it in those situations. But somehow, all the kids who came here, they just felt it was their farm. They had this sense of belonging that, ये हमारा farm है. So they would always
yeah,
go back home and tell them, Papa, Mummy, chalo हमारे farm पे, chalo हमारे farm पे. So after about, around 2008, we started getting calls from parents. Hey, listen, our kids don't want to go to Lonavala, don't want to go anywhere. They just want to go to this Zarpoli village. We didn't even have Hideout Farm then, Sangeeta and Hemant's farm. They just want to go to their farm. And for 2 years, we were lying to parents. And my wife was a teacher that time in a Waldorf school. My kids were going for a short period to a Waldorf school called Trida then. And we just had to lie to people. Then I told my wife, Sangeeta, I said, listen, इतने साल से लोगों का फोन आ रहा है. How long can we keep lying? So we built our website, and 2010 is when we started. In those days, there was no homestay or agro-tourism. It was called getaways.
yeah.
Yeah, so we started that then. Yeah, so that's how it started. And also, I'll tell you, because we were creating a fruit forest, there was zero income. I realized that we needed to do something to get income. So this kind of started giving me income.
Yeah. So basically, you started this entrepreneurial venture in 2010 after a lot of demand and people, just feeling inclusive at your farm. And I believe that is one of the best ways you actually capitalized on your farm as a resource and, just spreading that goodness with the people around in the community.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
that's that's really awesome. So, like, just diving into the ahimsic farming that you mentioned earlier, what does farming without violence look like on a daily basis? Because, I can't imagine like any process. How do you make sure throughout the process you don't, like, how do you make sure it works?
So that's what I'm saying now. I did a lot of mistakes. By saying ahimsik means you really don't spray anything. In 39 years, you've not used a drop of chemical, fertilizer, or pesticide, even after the ahimsik farming. So we got to know about Dasparni. Dasparni is 10. This we started using much later. 11 years was zero. Kuch mar gaya to mar gaya. I remember my bhindi costed me 5,000 rupees years back just to grow a few bhindis. Then I said, just let it happen. Like, so also, I think success comes from failure. I, I've so people say, "Arey yaar, hideout is too expensive." And 39 years, crores of investment, time, my life, more than half my life, my family, my children, involvement. If it is expensive, then go to some cheap resort and eat 50 items which is pre-cooked. Here we serve simple, conscious food. And that ahimsic farming comes from do not disturb, do not break. I never broke, I never harvested the mangoes. I would put hay below. And I taught, if you ask some of the kids who came initially, I had this song, I would ask the fruits, I would ask the mango, I would teach the children, are you ready to be plucked? Because all kids, they see a fruit, they want to pluck it. So I say, ask. So they would say, are you ready to be plucked? Pluck. If it comes in their hand, it's ready. They're not going and harvesting. So I never even took the fruits like by, going and harvesting them. It was a very, it was really a mad thing I did. But, one thing I always tell people, listen to your inner voice.
Yeah,
That was my inner voice. And
yeah,
that's how, just because of all that, it took 22 years for the birds to come. It took uh, 20 odd years for the crickets to come. It took 30 years for the squirrels to come. It took 38 years for a peacock to come right under my nose.
yeah,
So it takes a while for an ecosystem to be growing. Today we have so many wild foods that are growing, which even the tribals don't grow. We have Krishna Kakadi, which is so big, weighing 1 to 3 kilos. This year, because of excessive rain, even the tribals have not got. It was selling 100, rupees a kilo a piece in my village.
yeah.
We harvested. I'm not talking from pride. I'm talking from records. We harvested 125 kilos this year.
That's awesome. So basically, in your case, the process was more rewarding than the result, and failure is just failure.
Failure.
Sometimes you can get success through failure, and you just have a single life. Living with your, following your inner voice and living with your ideologies is sometimes more rewarding than just getting success on success. And you focused on your passion rather than just going to make a farm and just earning the maximum profit and just utilizing the
Yeah.
land. So that's awesome. And most of the people just shy away from seizing and listening to their inner voice and following their passion while if they see losses. And I think that is something that you should uh, give up on. You should face losses and see and enjoy your life because you have a single life and this is the only moment you have to enjoy. You just enjoy it and follow your ideology and leave. So that's interesting. You built a lot in your farm and you use a lot of mud, curry, and local materials in a long time. So your forest fruit also has multiple varieties of fruits, and you already told that you've made a whole forest, a whole ecosystem with a lot of fauna also coming in. Uh, why did you choose diversity instead of just focusing on growing a single kind of fruit? Like as you said, you've grown a lot of fruits.
See, already way then know in the 80s, people were talking about monoculture was the most popular thing. And I was very luckily influenced by one of my mentors, P.D. Bapna in Dhanu and Bhaskar Saveji in little north of Dhanu. So these people had this diverse food, yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm truly blessed, yeah. And they guided me. And Dr. Vijaya Venkat also said you have to have all these things growing. And so I started with mango because I loved banana. I had traveled a lot to Kerala. I had traveled right from Ratnagiri, I said, to Trivandrum. And I said, yeah, in Kerala, to 25 किस्म की तो केले होते हैं. So when I get up every day, I should have a different type of banana. So I got different types of banana. Then I realized, oh, what in the IMC days, what fruit does the birds like? So PD Bafnaji said, plant some Barbados cherries. So I planted Barbados cherries. I planted two cashew trees. Then I wanted lemons. I started planting lemons. I wanted coconuts. I planted coconuts. I wanted chiku. So I planted chiku. So that's how, things just started. Jo bhi mila. My, I loved star fruit as a child. I would go to Delhi and in Karol Bagh, I would have this chart, which is, which would have amrak, star fruit. And I saw it right here at a nursery. I grew that. That tree today, if you see it, you will be shocked. It's a forest tree, way beyond any star fruit tree anybody has seen in the world. The fruits are this big. You know what you'd see in Indonesia. Some people say I've seen it in Indonesia, I've seen it in Malaysia. And one day I remember one tribal asked me, he said, "Sir, what tree is this?" I said, "This is a star fruit." He said, "I've never seen it." He got a small plastic bag, those throwaway bags. I said, "Don't get a bag, go up and get a bucket." So he asked me, "Sir, what have you put in this tree?" I said, "Oh, that day it struck me. You know what? I forgot to water and I forgot to manure this tree. So what did it grow on? Pure love, just love. I would come, I told you about 25 years I came from Bombay to the farm. 13 years I came in the night. I should feel so excited wanting to meet my children, my trees. I would go in the night, take a walk, start from the star fruit tree, come back to the star fruit tree. And I don't know how, because I always, ऐसे ये ट्री I tell my man, इसको पानी देना, इसको खाद देना, इसकी मट्टी ढीली करना. But I don't know, I just ignored this tree, but I was so much in love with that tree. For 1 year, I had kept a bed on that, under the tree, and I would call it the listening tree. I had visitors, friends. I would just tell them where I would see baggage, when I would see somebody really in pain. So I was very intuitive, and I am still very intuitive. So I could see things in people. I say, come back sometime. We'll sit under this tree. I've sat with so many of my friends and community members under the tree for hours listening to them. Just listening to people can heal people. Not can, heals people.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I'm just moved by listening to your story that you walked around the whole farm coming from Bombay just to do that, and enjoying
In the
and
night. In the
yeah,
night.
in the night, and giving love to your farm.
And this was always after 12 o'clock. It was never before 12 o'clock. 12 to 3 a.m.
Yeah,
No
and
phones, no.
so basically, your farm was also, a part of your family, and you just treated every single tree as your family member, and and that kind of love just showed up, and that kind of built the whole ecosystem that you're currently, you have and you've fostered. So that's really awesome. So, throughout this journey, what have been your biggest learnings, and what can other people also, get and learn from your hard work and your consistency and your love towards that you know piece of land and your ideologies.
So I want to tell, I don't know, as I told you also, there's something called star children, which you are one of them. Do you like animals?
What, Annie?
Do you like animals?
Animals?
Do you
Yeah, I
like
love
pets,
animals.
animals?
Yeah,
Yeah. So star children, and what they call the Gen Z. Um, like my youngest daughter is a star child. Star children are basically, I'm specifically sharing this because even you don't know it. Star children are basically, in the Indian perspective, old souls. Children who've been born from either the mom's side or dad's side, forefathers, who come here, downloaded with ChatGPT. Earlier I used to say with Google. Okay. And they know everything. All the
yeah,
parents have to do is create an environment for them to just flourish. Give them nutritious food and not send them to a regular school, but rather send them to a Waldorf school or to yeah, Waldorf schools are good. Yeah, Waldorf schools are really good. So these places can really help children to grow. Montessori schools also a good option. We did homeschooling, but these options are also there. So I think this is a space where people have to ponder on. Schooling is
Yeah.
very important, and the factory schooling is just you have to see the movie. I don't want to say anything. Just see the video of another brick in the wall. You'll get the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're afraid we don't need the education. Ah, yeah, well, that's really
See
true.
the video, but
That- Yeah, yeah, I've seen the video. I'm also an avid fan of Pink Floyd. Yeah, but you know, so uh, the the education system in
so
India
the
is
answer
really
you was,
something.
I still don't have the answer. What you were saying, what to tell the kids today, what to share with people. Listen to your voice. Trust your voice.
Yeah,
Surrender. I think the biggest challenge, surrender to whom? Surrender to whomever you believe in. It's your parent, your inner voice, a God, guru, teacher, whatever, Ram, Krishna, Jesus, Allah, whatever you want to. Maybe this beautiful cat here, tiger. Maybe just this beautiful cat here, tiger. You know, anything, anything you want, you know. So I think you need to surrender here and listen. And community building is the key. What we haven't touched is, I learned through Master Craftsmen of India. It was called Paramparik Karigar. Sorry, I'm putting in a bit probably which you don't know about. And for 20 years, I've been with these Karigars. Karigars basically are nothing but, your tradition, your culture, your
yeah,
community. We are sharing. I have Karigars from Kutch, Indus Valley civilization, guys, 5,000 years of terracotta till today. So it's still there. It's all there. So we have Karigars who are friends, weavers, textile, block printers. You name any Karigar in India. So earlier it was a way of life. Today it's become artifacts, paintings, blah, 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 sari and whatever. But in those days it was way of life.
yeah.
Absolutely way of life. All those also came into my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
awesome. Supporting, yeah. Ultimately, karigars are one of the are the people or are the part of society that function to create mementos of our culture and take it forward. Yeah. So those are really absolutely vital to our society, and because of them, we have a somewhat of an understanding of how we lived back in those times. And yeah, those are absolutely important. And as to my question, yeah, I mean, following your voice and, first of all, trying as many things as we can to find our voice, which is something that I also learned from your story that you went across Europe and you tried absolutely as many things as you could and you went into yoga and then you slowly manifested your calling and you then went for it. So I think and manifesting and trying as many things as you can is one of the most important aspects, and then going through with it is also another. And both of these components ultimately lead
Yeah.
to a happy life, which I think you have
Yeah.
gotten. And yeah, so moving on. For young people who do not have the access to resources, or maybe just don't have enough time or money for it, how can they how can they, the young people dreaming of natural living, where should they begin and just start their journey?
I'm saying you have zero money. Let's start with zero money. Okay. You have a kitchen, you have sunlight in your balcony, or you live in a slum. Anyway, you have sunlight and you have a kitchen. You have rye ke seeds, you have methi ke seeds, yeah, mustard and fenugreek. Okay.
Then
These three things. I'm saying you don't have a pot also. You don't have mud also. Okay. You go get mud from anywhere. Yeah. You don't need a pot. You get a tray. Anything that's broken in your house, a broken tray, any vessel that's broken, put it in the sunlight. Put these seeds. Put some mud over it. Water it. You can eat it in 7 days. It's called microgreens. It's beyond sprouts. It's the healthiest food you can eat in this world. Beyond better than healthy vegetables or anything else in the world. You
Yeah.
don't need any nutrient. You don't need any because the seed has enough energy and strength to give 2 leaves and so much. Let's say जो नवरात्रि में गेहूं उगाते हैं
Hmm.
नवरात्रि में गेहूं उगाते हैं ना उसका
Huh.
पैसा लगता है क्या वो घर में जो भी मटका वटका होता है बर्तन होता है उसमें मिट्टी डाल देते हैं और उसमें गेहूं डाल देते हैं वो तो धूप
Huh.
भी नहीं लगती वो तो ऐसे उग जाता है मंदिर में ही उग जाता है so
Hanji,
you can start like that yeah there are no excuses if you want excuses your life is done with boss
that is true. You have to start somewhere, and just you give in a small step and direction, and finding. It's just that you have to just dream of it, and when you get access to resources, or you'll just find a way to make it come true. So what if someone,
absolutely
yeah, so what is, like, are there any so, like, concluding, I've already taken a lot of your time, coming to the end, I have a couple more questions left, but which can
yeah
you
yeah
give three to five books which shaped your thinking about nature, farming, or life? Generally, books that you think
yeah yeah
everybody
yeah
should read.
yeah yeah one straw revolution by Masubu Fukuoka one straw revolution by Masubu Fukuoka and one
Yeah,
healer whom I call Guru and a very spiritual, evolved woman. You can heal your life. And another book by her called Empowering Women by Louise L. Hay. And now you don't need to buy the book, it's freely available on the internet.
yeah. Thank you. Sir, lastly, who do you think? Lastly, thank you for coming on this channel. It was really absolutely a fun to interview you and your life and your energy at this age, and your story was absolutely inspiring. And I hope to have an interesting life like you. And uh, so, lastly, before we end this interview, can you who do you think I should interview from the people you know? And someone you think that can contribute to this channel.
Uh, yeah, there's a lady called Anju Venkat. She runs a place called the Health Awareness Center. Uh, Dr. Arun Sharma for sure. He's in Arizona, but I think you should enter the Living Master. And
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of people actually. Yeah, before we close, I just wanted to share my vision note for my district. After what I've done in 39 years, I want to, I'm definitely going to give you a few names. I'm just thinking about it in the meantime. But I want to
yeah,
create a fruit forest and a agro forest, which took me 39 years in the next maximum 10 years in our district of Palghar. And I want to make it I don't want to, I know it will be a profitable venture for the tribals of Palghar district using pineapple from Nagaland as a base crop. This is my vision. Yeah. So, what took me 39 years now has to be done in the next 10 years. This will be done by my vision of creating a food forest, what we call agroforest in Palghar district with the tribals of this district. So we're going to use pineapples as an economic model with other fruiting trees and food, millets, herbs, and things the tribals want to do. This will happen at least 1,000 acres. So this is going to be a replica of Hideout, which took 39 years. Yeah.
yeah. That's extreme. That's extremely interesting, and I hope you succeed with your venture. So, lastly,
Not
sir,
hope, it's happening.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry for correcting.
Yeah, it will succeed.
I don't
And
believe in hopes. I believe in action. I believe in the force of the power of the spirits.
yeah, I believe in you, and I know that you will succeed. And moving on, sir, thank you for coming on this channel. It was an absolute pleasure interviewing you, and I hope my viewers also feel the same. I have got my drive has been refurbished, and I am now more excited to work towards my calling in life, and just finding my wife. And I hope you keep living the way you live. And yeah, lastly, just any advice for me or my channel in general, what you found to be good and what
Yeah.
you found to be bad.
There's nothing good and bad, just to correct. There's nothing right and wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I want to close it with gratitude circle. Are you okay with it?
yeah,
Thank
I'm
you
sure.
all, my family, my mother, my father, my wife, my children, my grandparents, my forefathers, all the divine masters, the spiritual guides, the goddesses, all living beings, all micro, all with wings, all with fins. I want to thank the spirits of this land. I want to thank the spirits of plants, spirits of trees. I want to thank all the directions, north, south, east, west, the earth below, the stars above, and the planet. Thank you all. I have asked for forgiveness, and I love you all with unconditional love. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Aditya. I'm truly
Thank you, sir.
honored.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Ciao for now. My viewers, see you in the next episode. And thank you, sir, once again.